YouTubers and subscribers, RoseRed17 here, and in this review video of Eden Zero Volume 3, Chapters 15 through 23. So let us get started with Chapter 15. It starts out with Shiki and the crew with their new ship and decide to give it a good cleaning. And during that time, Rebecca and Happy find a giant bathhouse and want to take a dip after they finish their cleanup. But little did they know that this is not an ordinary bath, as Rebecca's arm and leg imprinted with markings of ether gear powers, as if it has awakened. Interesting. Rebecca seems surprised but also excited as she accidentally blew up the ceiling and her and Happy getting sucked in, and then the ceiling closed up before they can launch him into space. Later after that, the crew find themselves new outfits and explore the ship's master room, and as Shiki sat down, his ether gear seemed to activate the ship's main power system and awaken the Demon King's shining star, Witch, who is an android that was built by Ziki to be the ship's main control. She uses her power to restore the ship into its original form, Eden Zero. Now, since the announcement of this series, I kept wondering what is Eden Zero, and in this chapter I got my answer. At first I thought Eden would be someone's name, but it turns out to be an abbreviation for Ether Drive Eternal Navigation Ship, or it turns out to be a warship belonging to the Demon King. I will admit that looks pretty awesome. Witch bowed her head with tears in her eyes, welcomed the return of the Demon King. She also explains about the ship's true power to Shiki as she heard on the conversation about finding Mother. Now, what I get from chapter 16 are a few things about the ship's program and how Witch herself is connected to the system. Therefore, she can hear everything that's going on in the ship, and there's ways in Shiki finding a door with the code number 3173. 3173. Where have I heard those numbers before? Oh yeah! Now, those of you who have read the Rave Master manga, then you should be familiar with these numbers. I would have to say, this is a well-rememberable Easter egg from Mashima's earliest masterpiece, at least the ones I've read. Now back to Eden Zero, which explains that the 3173 code door cannot be opened without all 4 shining stars. And then there's Pino's conversation with Shiki, and then the crew returns to Blue Garden once again. Waze goes exploring while Shiki, Rebecca, Pino, and Happy enter the guild hall with the hologram of Mother for Pino to see. And then Lobelia is back, oh boy, who bullied Rebecca about her video and seemed to have a thing for Shiki. Okay, I don't think it's that type of thing where she likes him or anything. Lobelia just wants Shiki on her video for more viewers, as if she hasn't enough already. But then something unexpected happened in the next chapter. In chapter 17, Rebecca got an invite from the Guildmaster of Shooting Starlight and went to go meet him, leaving Pino and Shiki to go exploring the place. Then it cuts to this guy named Jin, who attacks Lobelia's bodyguard and is on a mission to take her away until Shiki came to her rescue. They're about to get into a fight while Lobelia is recording the scene, and then in the next page we see this toad-looking creature with his collections of very disturbing women statues, which leaves at the end of the chapter with Rebecca and the sentence, "I want to add to my collection." Yep, she's gonna get kidnapped in the next chapter like every damsel in distress I've seen. But the thing is about Rebecca, she is not as damsel as in distress you may think she is. At first glance, viewer claims the idea of who or what this character might be in the series, who will go through hardship to get stronger. Readers will might have to read maybe 30 to 50 or even 100 chapters for that character to slowly develop to make the character more cooler and better. But with Rebecca, I saw her character change in the very next chapter. She isn't some pretty damsel who needs to be rescued all the time. During my read on Eden Zero, Rebecca seems to save herself after the 2 times she was kidnapped. Yeah, over 100 chapters, she only got abducted twice, and that's less than most pretty damsels. But enough about that, on to the next chapter. The fight between the 2 ether gear masters fighting in the street caused an almost traffic jam by Jin, but Shiki uses gravity gear to carefully land the cars on the ground without any injuries. Shiki is not happy for the fact that innocent people got crossfired into their fight, and Jin doesn't seem to care. As Jin wants to continue the fight, he got a call telling him to retreat back to base, telling Shiki his name ready for a rematch. Lobelia thanked him as she leaves, as Shiki and Pino went back to the guild waiting for Rebecca and Happy. But Happy was the only one who made it back, damaged and Rebecca gone, as the new report the disappearance of the B-Cubers. Learning this, Shiki becomes furious and willing to get her back. But little did he know that he's being watched by this woman who seemed to be familiar with Eden Zero, but we'll get to her character later. Rebecca is found tied up along with other B-Cubers. The next chapter, there's a color page of the ship, which looks totally badass. In the next page, with the prison of the B-Cubers, as a girl starts crying and was about to be punished, and seems Rebecca stepped up for her. But then she gets punished instead. Yeah, in a place like this, if you stand up for someone, you're gonna get the penalty. Rebecca, however, seemed to take this as her way of getting more viewers. Girl, you're being strangled to death. Now is not the time to be thinking about that. Anyways, while Rebecca's having conversation with the other B-Cubers and decide to come up with a plan to escape. Meanwhile, Shiki and the ship crew trying to locate Rebecca's location. But also get to know a little more about the other three shining stars, who is Sister the healer, Hermit is the mind, and Valkyrie is the sword of Eden Zero. As Shiki is determined to get Rebecca back, Wade shows up with a new character named Hamura, the Ursa Scarlet in the group. Wade's bumped in her during a flashback as Hamura explained her reason to join Eden Zero, and she has ether gear that seem to be familiarized with Witch. Back to Rebecca, her and the others being transported to the planet Ghost, which is a wasteland for the poor and destroyed souls. Inside the prison of planet Ghost, Rebecca and the others witness a dark, unpleasant, and disgusting scene of a woman turning into stone in her birthday suit. Holy this just got real. So the girl's clothing removed by phone, and poor Rebecca turning into fan service, but still determined to fight to escape. While Shiki, Hamura, and Waze find the planet into the search for Rebecca. But they stumble upon a church with a writing that says Rogue Out, and inside is the leader of the Rogue called Sister, who is one of the shining stars. Or is it? The reason I'm so skeptical about Sister here is that in chapter 21, Witch is not familiar with Sister's appearance, but has the same code in her memory, but told the others to keep their guard up. Sister launched an attack on the two. As Shiki starts to fight back, Hamura shows off her ether gear, Soul Blade. Remember when I said that she's the Ursa Scarlet in the group? Well, here's your proof. Hamura stays behind to fight off the foes, allowing Shiki to ride ahead to find Rebecca by attaching himself and Pino to the bottom of Sister's ship, taking him to the prison where his friend is being held. Sister arrived on the planet with Shiki and Pino off with their search, and meanwhile, Rebecca and the other B-Cubers find a way to get Rebecca out of the jail cell to get help and then come back for the others. But then gets caught by Toadface here, ready to do something unpleasant with Rebecca, and that's when she comes in to save the day. But I do give credit to Rebecca for getting herself out there with the help of the other B-Cubers, and also in the pyramid buildup, I saw an Easter egg that I know I'll never forget. As I am no longer surprised by this, as Mashima has put in Easter eggs all over this series, it's almost noticeable. In fact, why not have Mira J and Lasagna? Okay, I didn't expect those two to show up in plain sight. I mean, look at this panel. Not only that they show the sisters, but they both have a line to say something. You don't get that from an Easter egg. I can hear Manga Ryo's voice in those few words. Sometimes it's hard to understand what Hiromasha was thinking when he drew this, but I'm going to stop complaining since it is his work and he can do whatever he wants with it, so I will acknowledge and move on. Chapter 23 is the last chapter of the volume, and I will say the ending is surprising, shocking, and exciting for me to see the next volume. So it starts with Shiki saving Rebecca from Toadface beating the living snot out of him, as Pino and Rebecca notice that he's going a bit overboard. So Pino used her EMP to cancel out Shiki's ether gear, causing him to stop. Rebecca thanked him with a wink, and Shiki... Oh my god. Oh Shiki, you naughty boy. The other B-Cubers managed to make it out thanks to Pino's EMP activation. Shiki noticed a familiar aroma and then literally tossed Rebecca to one of the other B-Cubers as Jin shows up for that rematch. Meanwhile, Waze doesn't trust Hamura and has a few tricks up his sleeves. He remodeled the floor with gun bullets, taking out any foes, and then back at the Eden Zero ship, which detected a dangerous set coming towards the planet Ghost, and it's the creature that you and I have seen before. The chapter ended with the to be continue of the Corona phase. I told you it was a surprising, shocking, and exciting ending, and I can't wait for the next volume. As for this one, it's good. Nothing groundbreaking like in the last two volumes where I see some early character development and a plot story that caught my attention. This volume gave out a good start and end with a surprising twist, along with a new character introduction. But in the middle of it all, it was pretty pretty much saving the damsel in distress story. Granted, she did technically kinda sorta save herself in a way by escaping the prison, but then get saved by the hero. But I digress. Now this is where I should end the video, but there are a few things I want to say about this series, and it's mostly about the flaws from the fairy tale fans. Fans think of this as a rip-off of fairy tale. There's no change to the plot, stories, or even characters. And Hiramasha is making the same mistake with Eden Zero. Well, I disagree with that logic. I mean, sure, there are some similarities between FT and EZ, but they're just small things. And the way I see it, Hiramasha is not making the same mistake with Eden Zero. I think he's fixing them. I see the character's growth early in the series. Like in the first 2 chapters, we see Shiki and Rebecca change development from point A to point B, and their backstory flows during the crisis, and in a few chapters later, we get more information about the characters, especially the main lead, Shiki. Well, back in the fairy tale series, it took too freaking long to get a clear backstory from Natsu and his connection with the main antagonist, and all its answer is on the last arc of the series. And that kinda ticked me off because most of the backstories in the series come from the celestial main female protagonist. Lucy's history starts out in the Phantom Lord arc, showing where she came from and why she did what she did, and should be satisfied with that. But somehow she gets her own filler spin-off of that arc. I feel like Natsu has been getting the back seat to the celestial maid since the Tenro Island arc, and that's the thing that was ticking me off. There are barely any noticeable scenes of Natsu's growth because all the attention is on Lucy's past life and growth throughout the series. Now with Eden Zero, there are equal opportunities of development and backstory between Rebecca and Shiki. In one chapter, it's focused on one character and the next is focused on the other. It's focused on both the main characters and not just one, and even other characters get their time of development. Eden Zero is a story on its own with characters who have their own identities. The only trademarks that are actually from Fairy Tail are the Easter eggs we've been seeing, and that could be the reason why people are mistaking Eden Zero for Fairy Tail 2.0 or Fairy Tail in space, whatever. Well, that is all I have to say in this video. Thank you for watching, and please leave a comment down below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. RoseRed17 out.